What's going on, everyone? It's your favorite host and jealous hater Apoc, and welcome back to the channel. So roughly a month ago or so, I finally decided to cover Cam&Fam, right? And we dived into the dark side of family vlogging. And behind the scenes, she was going through a lot, especially mentally. It was extremely toxic, and a lot of her fans didn't even know about that. Although the same people, random people, online, rolled over her life and turned vlogging, something that she loved and enjoyed at one point, to something that she hates and felt pressured to do, which is just insane because we are now seeing the same pattern with other vloggers who are basically also saying the same things or still living within that vicious cycle. Now, there's not really anything else to say. Let's just dive into part 2.
And then spending hours reading the comments, seeking approval, and almost even seeking negativity. Like if there was a negative comment, I had to see it. One day I found this gossip website,
which I'm going to assume is YouTube Mama Drama because it makes sense. But people like Cam&Fam or other vloggers will say that they're numb to the hate, yet they always go and seek it for whatever reason. Like, she had to see these negative comments, but like, why? If they affect you in that way, why do you feel it necessary to go seek them out? All it's going to do is make you feel bad.
where the whole thing is just talking about YouTube moms. Turns out there's like a whole community on the internet for that.
Oh yeah, there's a whole ass community, but to be honest, I feel like the anti-family vlog community is kind of separated in different factions. You know, there's like the extremely petty faction, then there's our faction. You know, I will agree that sometimes I do get a little petty, but to be honest, I lean more towards the logical and rational side rather than like the DCP goons or the weirdos on Family Vlogger Gate.
And it was absolutely brutal.
Now, I do recall YouTube Mama Drama, to be honest, as much as some people like to think that I was on that site and that I take ideas from them, which is just ridiculous. But I did go on that site here and there. But it really wasn't for me because, again, there was petty things on there. But what I will say, it was a little bit different because I felt like the moderators did moderate some things and did keep some of the petty things out. Not all of it, but definitely did a better job than what we see today. And what we see today, I think, is like a lot worse than it was just a couple of years ago when I first discovered the website.
And it hurt the most when they were kind of right, when they were kind of spot on. These people were really good at like reading between the lines.
Yeah, like myself and other people. Now, when I talk about these petty people on those websites, not all of them are in the wrong per se, but sometimes they do bring up things that just don't matter. And to be honest, why do you even care? It's not even that big of a deal. But it's not far-fetched to think that some of those petty people will bring up good points. I mean, DCP will bring up good points, like child exploitation is bad. Okay, you can't really argue with that. But then he'll go and bash their like home decor or something. So it's kind of like the good points get lost when you do all that stupid shit.
Most of the people saw what I posted and were just like, oh, good video, very happy, fun, I love it.
Yeah, those are called cronies, biased people who like to watch that sort of thing, and that's what they do. They just will like stan anything you post. It doesn't matter.
And other people kind of started to see where I cut specific clips where it seems like I cut certain things out and really just pick me apart.
We do see things that other people don't see, or things that will go like over people's heads, right? And again, there are petty people who do see those things as well. They just, again, will talk about drivel that doesn't matter or shouldn't even be talked about. But there is a huge difference between ripping somebody apart for something bad and just ripping them apart for like nothing, or maybe just something Cam was doing as a mom. I don't know. But to me, I don't really mess with parenting because I'm not one to judge anybody's parenting unless it's like really, really bad. But usually I kind of stay out of it unless there's something more based around like the safety of the child,
I've never read anything more horrible, honestly.
They're pretty horrible people up in those websites, and they'll claim that it's for calling out the bad behavior, man. Yeah, but that's not the case at all. They just say it's that because they want to justify what they're saying, but there's no justifications for the things that are coming out of their mouths. Or, out of their keyboards, because all of them are just keyboard warriors who do nothing but virtue signal.
I was like addicted to reading this.
Again, why? If you don't like it, don't watch it, right? Isn't that like the vlogger motto? Don't like it, don't watch it. Or the YouTuber motto? Because you're seeking it out to feel bad? I don't know. I don't get it. It's kind of like when Karen said she was like punishing herself for like not sharing with their community or whatever. Karen from KK and Baby J. She said she was trying to deliberately make herself mad. Why? What's the point?
So that cycle of running around, trying to make everything perfect, spending the next day reliving my previous day, editing it, posting it, seeking approval, seeing the hate, checking this gossip site a million times a day, I drove myself freaking crazy.
Man, her like daily routines sound boring as hell. All she's doing is like the same thing, living within that same cycle, vlogging things she doesn't want to vlog and doing the same thing within the vlogs, and then checking all the hate comments and going to the website and just doing all that, man. That does not sound fun, like, at all.
It was so unhealthy for me to be on that schedule, on that cycle, and so invested in all the negativity going around.
I bet it was messing with her psyche.
And at that point, I had met other moms through YouTube, and it was a very similar type of thing.
We are really starting to see the same patterns with all these vloggers. They start to say the same things that she's saying right now. They're all starting to. Again, Brittany Morrow literally admitted that vlogging put her kids in danger. She's still doing it though. At least Cam&Fam. I mean, I don't watch Cam&Fam. I haven't really been keeping up. Maybe I should check it, and maybe I'll do an update video to see if she's kind of like still, keeping this energy she has going, because I do want to know if she's actually changed or not. But let's just say, for the sake of the argument, that she did. At least she has changed, while Brittany Morrow or KK and Baby J or whoever else has not changed, and they just keep on doing it. And they do it for the money. That's just what it comes down to. They do it for money and attention.
I don't think all of them were as invested in the comments as I was.
I don't know, man. You go to any of them and they'll say the same stuff, how they're not invested, and then all they do is post about the so-called haters.
Something that a lot of YouTubers get as they kind of progress in their YouTube channel is like, oh, it only seems like you care about the money. Oh, you only care about the views.
Well, to be fair to the argument, that is true, because you were literally pretending that you were a happy family for affirmations online, but also the plus side of money. You also probably clickbaited a couple things here and there. Again, I haven't seen her channel, but she's a vlogger, and that's what vloggers do. Clickbait is for the attention of clicks and to get views to make more money, and that's what they all do. So yes, money may not be the only factor, but it is one of the biggest factors.
It was never about any of that for me. It was about the approval. But for some of the other YouTubers I knew, it was for the views. It was for the money.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she did just want it for attention, because there are vloggers that I've seen that like attention more than the money, and the money's just the bonus side. But here's the thing. It don't matter how much attention you get. If it doesn't pay the bills, then it just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So no matter what, even if she didn't seek the money was there to back her up so she can keep getting that attention. Otherwise, she would, need to go get a job out in the real world and not just vlog.
It's so hard making friends with people who are also online, because a lot of those friendships, while they did seem genuine at the time, there was also this underlying competitiveness.
Speaking about vloggers and competition, we will go back to Brittany Morrow. She admitted that she was jealous of other vloggers that she knew, her own friends, and was trying to compete with them in order to get the same views, copying their content, posting the same things. These people are jealous of each other. They're jealous of the clout, and I'm sure Cam was jealous of somebody else too, at least maybe more on the happy family part,
And I never really feel like it stemmed from any of us directly. I just feel like it was there because it was this huge aspect of all our lives that we had in common.
Problem I have with that though is that you guys are the ones competing with each other. That toxicity is coming from you guys. You don't have to do it. You're not forced to do it. You don't have to be online to do this. If you don't like it, then step away. If it's affecting you, step away. And money really does change people, or it just brings out what that person has always been, greedy and materialistic. Again, I'm going to keep saying their name, KK and Baby J. They're the prime examples of that. They pretended to be this humble, loving, great people, and then just look at them now. They've lost a huge amount of followers because they've shown their true colors. Those people are competing with you because they want views and money. And then once they have more followers than you, they're just gonna leave you in the dust.
And after being on YouTube for years and only really having friends through YouTube, it was kind of all I knew.
Which is extremely sad, because she should be knowing people outside in her real life rather than on social media trying to compete with other people. That is just so extremely toxic.
And a lot of those friendships ended very dramatically, some of them very publicly, and it was really hard to go through that while a ton of people were watching.
Oh yeah, I bet, especially for somebody who goes straight to read those negative comments. People like myself will talk about, like OK Baby breaking up, Kira and Karen not being friends anymore, and just all these other things. And of course we do it for, money and just to talk about gossip, whatever. And yes, we do rip certain situations apart and we do break it down, and we really, really break it down here on my channel. But that's what happens when you have a social media based friendship. If your friendships end, it's going to be on nothing but social media. But it is funny though, because they'll complain now, and I'm not saying Cam did this, but most of them do this. They'll complain now, but then like clickbait it later on, to make more money.
Those friendship dynamics and just the dynamic of my household had just become so toxic, so bad for all of us.
Yeah, I get it, because she's basically saying that all her friendships, her relationships, and even her life, like within her household, it was all fake. It was all for show. And then that's why they end so badly, like her and her friends. I don't know who she's talking about, but when they ended publicly, that was because it was never a real friendship. It was more on the basis of, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine.
And the further that image of perfection that I let everybody see, the further that got from my reality, and the worse my actual reality got, as that gap grew further and further, I just felt horrible. Just like such a horrible person.
Wow, that's a good point. And think about that. She's just saying that the more of the perception pushed out online that she was like happy and had friends and this and that, the more that idea got pushed out into the world, the bigger it got, the more her actual life actually like suffered, and it was actually like hurting her, emotionally and mentally, and probably a little physical too, which ended up making her feel like a horrible person. Because just think about that. Everyone has this idea of what your life is like, and they want to strive to be like you. In all reality, behind the scenes, your life is probably worse than some of the people that are watching you. That's crazy, man. That's really crazy.
I felt like everything that I had to show for was just fake.
I mean, it really was fake, because she put on a show for everyone to make them happy. She never worked on herself to make herself happy. And maybe that's what she's doing now, which is, healthy and good for her.
At that point, the validation didn't even feel good anymore.
And that's kind of a good thing, because if it no longer feels good, then you're not going to want to push it out into the world and to give everybody this idea. And so maybe that's one of the things that helped her think like, okay, I need to actually get my shit straight and within my real life, and screw all these random people that I don't know, which I am all about that energy.
All the good comments of people telling me that I'm doing a good job as a mom, I'm like, this isn't even real.
It kind of sounds like she went woke. I wonder what red pilled her.
Because on days that we would film, we'd eat healthy food. We would take Colette to the park. To be fair, we filmed 3 days a week, so about half of the time we were actually living that lifestyle. But when we weren't vlogging, we were eating junk food and staying in bed all day.
Yeah, so she was literally living an opposite life on the vlogs. Down to the food, bro. Down to the food. That's crazy.
And I do want to say that there was some genuine moments. I don't want to say that my whole channel was fake. Everything we did wasn't real.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that they actually did have some lighthearted good moments as a family, but it was in the perception, but it was within the perception of everything being fake.
A lot of the time we were showing the best of us, and some of the time we were just pretending to be the best versions of ourselves.
And like I said, it's really sad that she wasn't working on herself to make her the best version of herself. She was only showing bits and pieces of her best, but she wasn't showing everything or her full potential and everything she could be and more.
But there was still real love there and real joy, but we were just scripting out these moments, scripting out this super fun day as a family.
Yeah, and see, that's the problem too, is that they're scripting and micromanaging these vlogs that are supposed to be about their life, but life isn't supposed to be scripted, and that's the problem. And then when you do that, you start to become obsessed with the clickbait and thumbnails and getting attention and the money, and all that came at her, and she just kept feeding that flame,
At the time, I was definitely in denial about a lot. Deep down, I think I knew the weight of it and just how wrong it was, just perpetuating this false idea of not only parenthood but teen parenthood.
No, she definitely was in denial for sure. She wanted to believe that she was a good mom, and I'm not saying she wasn't, but she was putting out certain perceptions of herself and as a mother and from her life that weren't true at all, you know? And the best way you can be a mother is by being yourself. And she wasn't being herself within those vlogs. She was somebody else. And that's just not the way to be, man.
Only showing the best parts and essentially glamorizing it, making it look way better than it was.
Which is really bad, especially when you push that out to younger people, because you give this idea of what it's like to be a teen mom, but they should definitely know the pressure or the cons to being a teen mom rather than this false perception that she pushed out because she was glamorizing teen motherhood to, well, teens who could be influenced to become a teen mom like her because, well, Cam&Fam makes it look just great, you know? And that's just bad and toxic.
Showing these young teens, yeah, it's not too bad being a teen parent. It was. It really was.
And that's what she really should have showed.
It was so much harder than I let on, but I was in so much denial and I was so defensive. When people criticized me, I took it so personally and refused to take anything from what they were saying.
Yeah, which is typical of a denier. She's not going to absorb or learn lessons or listen to anyone's critique. No, she's going to do the exact opposite of that because she wants to believe the things that she's pushing out into the world, even if deep down she knows that she's wrong.
There came a point where I realized these things probably right around the time I got pregnant with Delilah, and I tried to make a change and change my content and be more authentic, try to kind of revert back to how it was when I first started, but I just couldn't break out of what I had already created for myself.
Yeah, that's because she created a habit by making like a daily routine of doing the same things, you know, going through her phone, looking at all the comments, going to YouTube Mama Drama, and then wherever else. She made a habit out of it, and so that's what she did. It's really hard to break habits. It really is. It's just like breaking the habit of sitting on your ass too much, you know? And you like, man, I really want to work out today, but I just don't have the motivation to do it. Well, that's because you've had the habit of not doing that, and you need to break those bad habits, and then you need to start some new good habits. So as in, you know, you get up off your ass and then you go work out, you go exercise, you go for a run. In her case, it was putting down her phone and focusing on herself and her family and trying to be more authentic on her platform rather than pushing out this perception to randoms who don't really do anything for her besides, I guess, nitpick her.
I felt trapped in this box of this is how everyone thinks I am, so this is how I have to be.
Yeah, and she definitely created that box. And you know, it sucks. It really does. But she created this herself because she wanted attention. And she wanted people to think that she was a good mom or wanted attention from them in certain ways or whatever. And she appealed to, again, random people online. But look what it did to her. Made her feel horrible. Made her feel like she was in a box that she couldn't get out of. I definitely don't want to feel like that.
And also, I just didn't have a self-identity anymore. Outside of acting happy on camera and being miserable reading comments, I had no idea who I was anymore.
Exactly, because she wasn't being herself. She was being fake. She was letting others rule her life. It was just this one big old fake perception that was pushed out to please other people, but not to actually please them.
So how can I show my authentic self when I've just completely lost that?
You can't. And when you're in this box like she put herself in, it was probably really hard to get out of that. For sure.
And it took losing Landon for me to finally snap out of it.
Unfortunately, there are some good lessons that can come out of really, really horrible situations.
And it's really messed up that that's what it took.
Yeah, like I just said, it's unfortunate and it is messed up. And you know, when you're going through it, you don't understand that. But once you're strong enough to get through it and you do, you come out a much, much stronger person and you feel like nobody can touch you.
And as I grew out of that, I also grew out of some friendships with people who were still just kind of in that.
Yeah, because you snapped out of your toxicity and those people who you were competing with, aka the other vloggers, they're still being toxic and you snap out of your toxicity and now you want to focus on yourself and push all that toxicity away.
I'm very grateful to have had such a wake-up call.
That's exactly what I'm saying, is that I'm grateful for everything that I've learned, or a wake-up call within my own life as well. I get where she's coming from.
I don't even want to get into the psychology of how that would have affected my daughters had I not made a change.
And I really do think that's amazing how she's thinking about her daughters in this situation.
At this point, my channel is about me, and I am my truest self on here. It's taken time to get to that, but I finally feel like I'm there.
I'm glad that she has found herself or is finding herself still, whatever she's doing. Cam, just keep on doing what you're doing.
And the kids are not at the center of my channel at all anymore.
That is what's most important. Now, you guys know this, and I've always been this way. I don't care if you vlog. I don't care if you vlog your kids either. Now, there is a difference between vlogging your kids and vlogging your day and just having them in the background playing, eating ice cream, whatever, okay? There's a big difference in that and exploiting them. You know what I mean? Exploiting everything about their lives, their privacy, shoving a camera in their face when they're in pain. That is true child exploitation. Not filming your kids just, playing around with some Legos. That's not child exploitation. The exploitation comes from clickbait, titles, thumbnails, and all that based around your child. Take your energy out on the people who are showing their kids during bath times and potty training. Those people are truly disgusting.
It's no longer about showing their lives or even our life as a family. It's about showing my life.
Just imagine the weight lifted off her shoulders, man. She must feel so good that she doesn't have to live in that box anymore. She must feel amazing.
I definitely want to keep the girls away from social media as they grow up, especially being what my presence and their presence already is on the internet.
She wants to keep them offline, and because she knows how toxic and bad it is, man. She doesn't want her kids to go through it unless they choose it later. That's all we do here on my channel. Right? Just pay attention to your kids, see what they want to do. Don't force them to be on camera. Think about them. Think about what you're pushing out on them, and if it's too private, if it's too personal, if it's too embarrassing, and if they would even like it online. That's all I'm asking is for you to think about that. And again, we're Gucci at that point,
I'm not sure what it will be by the time they're older, but as a parent, that's something that I do not want for them to even feel a fraction of that pressure that I felt to portray themselves a certain way on the internet.
That's a real mom right there. That is a real mom. She got put in this box at a very young age. She's extremely young. You can't put her in the same category as other vloggers who know what they're doing. She is really young, and she started really young, and she was very naive and ignorant, and now she's blossoming into this woman, and she's understanding things, and this is great, and she is stepping up, and she's being a real mother. All you vlog moms out there, why don't you take some damn notes?
It's going to be a very, very, very long time before I allow them access to any social media.
Great. Keep that energy. Don't change that energy, Cam. Keep it. That's what we want to see.
I want to sit here and say that my experience with family vlogging is a universal experience, and that every other family channel is actually super fake.
I'm not saying all of them are fake, but majority, like 99.9% of them are all fake, and they're all fake in their own ways too.
But I gotta say that just that dynamic of having social media be your job, having your kids so involved in that, having your marriage, your relationship so involved in that, and just having your whole life intertwined with the way that you make money, the way you feed your kids, along with having the whole internet critique the way that you live your life, it is just not good for anyone.
No, it's not. And the trolls online don't even matter. Like, they don't care. They love nitpicking people. But when it comes to you and your family or your own mental health, you need to be sure that you're not letting others rule your life. And I think Cam coming out and speaking about this is just amazing. I think it's great because she's saying everything that we've all been saying here. And I love that some vloggers now are coming out and speaking out against family vlogging and discussing how toxic it truly is, because it is now going to change minds and show people that family vlogging is not all it's cracked up to be.
And everyone says, oh, well, you do it to yourself. But if I can go back, I don't know that I would have chosen the same path. I don't know if I would have made my YouTube channel.
And who really knows, you know what I mean? The affirmations and money was important to her, and she does live a pretty good life because of that money. So, I don't know. I feel like she's being genuine here, so I'm gonna take her word for it. Although she says she doesn't know, so it's up in the air. We'll just leave it at that.
Now that I'm finally at a place where I figured out how to do it in a healthy way and to kind of separate myself from the opinions of people on the internet, I've come to a point where I can handle it.
To be honest, she probably just ignores it now. Like, actually ignores it and doesn't even look at it.
But especially someone who has always had mental health problems, I can't think of a worse scenario.
Oh, me either. That is definitely going to be hard on somebody who suffers through mental health issues to have to deal with more mental health issues on top of it, and people critiquing your life and trying to push out this perception. Can't imagine, because I obviously don't go through it, so I don't understand. But what I can tell you is that it is obvious that it was hard on her.
As hard as it is, it feels good to own up to it and to say it out loud.
That's awesome. Like I said, she probably feels a weight lifted that she finally made this video. She probably was a little nervous at first. She probably was. But here she is doing it, so.
And it's hard not to look back on that time with a sense of just shame.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. She's probably definitely ashamed. I mean, the person who she is now, who she's grown into, would never dabble in that same area again, for sure. She would not. Because who the hell would want to?
It didn't need to be that way. I had to learn that lesson for myself, but looking back, I know that it did not have to be that way.
No, and it really didn't. And she did let it get to that point.
It makes it hard now to look back on my old videos, because what everyone else sees is just us being happy, and it's great to see Landon alive and smiling, but all I see is the behind the scenes, everything that wasn't showed on camera, everything it took to get that shot, the fight that we had that morning, you know?
Yeah, imagine having those vlogs and trying to see old clips of Landon, because obviously it will make her happy, but she knows, again, what it took to get that shot. She knows in between those edit cuts. She knows what really happened behind the scenes. So those vlogs aren't going to really be a place of happiness for her. Not saying she can't be happy from seeing Landon and stuff, but it definitely probably hurts to see those vlogs because she's the one that really knew to like what was going on.
But for my daughter's sake, part of me is glad that we only showed the best parts, because now that's what they get to see of their father.
And you know, that's good. That's great. They'll see their father and that will make them happy, which will also make Cam happy as well. She'll still have to have that weight on their shoulders because she knew what really happened, but she's a strong mama. You can tell. She'll be able to carry that no problem.
Because what's the alternative? Showing us fighting, showing the bad parts? I don't know. It's a very complicated issue.
Yeah, really complicated. But like I just said, she's going to carry that weight. She's not going to show the fights or anything bad to the kids. No, they're going to see the edited version of those vlogs. That's just fine. They don't need to know the toxicity that happened that came with all of it. No. Again, Cam's just going to carry that with her.
All I know is that at this point, after having gone through all that, I feel like I have no choice but to be as genuine and authentic as possible.
Well, it's that or go back. But we already know that's not going to happen, man. She's definitely in a way better place.
And that means posting less, but also only filming when I actually want to film and being passionate about it again and putting my heart and soul into it again.
Which is the only way she's going to like actually heal from it all. Which waiting to vlog only when you want to and putting in whatever you want is the best way to be, because no one else is controlling her, and it's just way better for her mental health.
And not looking into every single comment and taking it personally.
Exactly. You know, there's going to be people who say some really horrible things and nitpick, and all you gotta do is ignore it. You know, if somebody has some valid criticism, okay, absorb it. She seems like somebody who would take valid criticism, at least who she is now as a person, and then ignore the rest.
I have come a really long way, and I'm really happy that I finally figured it out for myself, and I can exist on the internet in a way that's healthy for me and the girls.
Like I said, she's finding herself, and that's just great. It's just so much better than living for others who just nitpick you.
This video is going to be a hard one to post, because I feel like I'm kind of shattering this illusion that a lot of you have had for years of us being this perfect happy family.
Yeah, but you know what? Even though those people have been fans for a long time, it does not matter. It's just an illusion. It's fake. To be honest, people are probably really happy that you posted this video and are showing your true, genuine self and admitting your wrongdoings or the toxicity and showcasing that it all wasn't just peaches and cream off camera. Anyways, all you jealous haters, that's about it. Well, let me know what you guys think down below. That's all I got for now, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.